Hi, today's sustainable fashion inspiration for you. Woohoo! It is a fashion haul from a Swishing Party, otherwise known as a clothing exchange or clothing swap. And regardless of what name they are called by, they are super, super fun. And you can get really, really high quality clothes that have been just lightly used, and they are all free. What could be better than that? Let's get into it. Today I want to encourage you to go to or host a clothing swap. This can be a wonderful gateway venue into secondhand clothes because you can have a very small swap with people you know well, that you feel safe with, you know their hygiene, they have similar styles and values to you, and it can be a lot of fun. There are also public swaps. A great one to go to if you're here in the north of Denver area is the Longmont Firehouse Art Center clothing swaps. The advantage of a public swap is there's a lot more stuff, there's a lot more sizes. So the magical thing about clothing swaps is when everybody is relaxed and they're trying things on and they feel comfortable with each other and people start showing each other, oh, here's how I look in this, and it turns into basically like a little runway show there in your living room. It is so awesome, and you find, gems, things you wouldn't have thought of, things that you've admired on people that are your friends, and you've always thought, wow, that person has really good taste, and suddenly you're getting to look through their wardrobe, or you brought something of your own and you see it on them and it looks so good, and you're like, well, hey, I couldn't wear that anymore. I'm so happy to have it on my friend. I've been to, cocktails and wine and cheese clothing swaps, and I've been to clothing swaps as casual as swapping, shirts with my sister, and it's a party. It's a great way to connect and make new friends that kind of share and can support you in your sustainable fashion journey. Another thing I love that's magical at a clothing swap is your friends start cheering you on, which is not something that I experience at clothing stores. Maybe if there's a very, exuberant commission salesperson there, there'll be a little bit of that, but the kind of encouragement that you get to try things on and test them out and what looks good on you at a clothing swap is so much higher. It's very socially validating. I remember being at one clothing exchange and I was in there putting my pants on, and there was this cheer that came from the other room, and I had one of the ladies had put on this dress that I couldn't wear anymore that was like this full gown, right? And when she walked in, everybody cheered. That kind of thing happens. That is just not your regular shopping experience. That is the magic of a clothing exchange. What's dangerous is that, there is that cheering on. So if you have hoarder tendencies, I'm not looking at anyone in particular here, then you might have to have your friend Ava help you put a bunch of things back before the end of the swap. So there is that inevitable awkward moment where you want something that somebody else has their hands on, and you're just like, oh, I hope they don't fit. I hope I get a shot at that. And one thing that can happen is if you have a friend who's very pushy and they're just going to grab things all at once, you might have to set up a few rules. And most of the clothing exchanges I've been to, people are way too polite for that, and it would just ruin the casual ambience. But if you're doing a public clothing exchange, it can be really helpful to have a couple rules, like, that there's a rotation of when people pick, or the rule could be, hey, you can only bring in one bag of stuff, because you don't want a clothing exchange to turn into a dumping ground. That can be no fun. Like if people haven't washed their clothes or they're bringing in things that are out of season, just a little guidance to help people know what they should bring. It's a very useful thing for a public exchange. If you are hosting a private exchange, the one big thing that I would suggest is to make sure you invite more than one person in each size range. So I've been to quite a few clothing exchanges where I was the only plus size lady there, and that is not as fun for them. So, even if you have to reach outside of your immediate circle of friends, try and bring in 2 or 3 people in each size range so that nobody's feeling all alone and left out. Beyond that, hosting is like hosting any party. You just want to think about, you know, if you want to offer food, if you want to have beverages there. It can be really great to have a DJ. It can be really great to have somebody making cocktails. It can be really great to have somebody putting things on hangers. Do you have racks so you can hang things up? Do you have table space? Things that are helpful to have are mirrors. It's very helpful to have a place for people to try on clothes. Please, please, please put some chairs out so people have places to sit down. And also helpful is to think about what you're going to do at the end of the day, because there will definitely be a lot of clothes left over. All right, so you guys ready to see some of my finds? We're gonna do the big wins, we're gonna do the sneaky surprises, and we'll look at some of the things that have, you know, I got, but they're a challenge, because I'm an upcycler, so there's always a few of those, and I will also show you how I style them. So what I got, just to give you an idea what could happen for you. And I know we have a different sense of style, because I have cultivated a very unique sense of style. Here are some ones that have a little tiny bit of challenge, because I sometimes forget that I'm not a teenager. And it says Lamageddon. I'm just sorry, I like that. This is one where I'm like, oh, I'm so the wrong age for it. But I adore it. It's so super cute. I love how faded it is. I love how soft it is. But it has a little bit of challenge because it takes a little bit of guts to wear, and this one really has more challenge because I'm not quite, sometimes I think I'm more edgy than I am. I picked up several graphic tees there. They were just original and fun and interesting. Okay, we're gonna have a quick look at all the finds that are basically upcycling projects. Problem here, Hoarder Stacy, that's one of my identities. There's Upcycler Stacy and then there's Hoarder Stacy, and Hoarder Stacy is always thinking about what I can make with things. So this feels like a really, really dated, like I would never wear it. The print is so big, but I do love those butterflies, and I could see sticking those over stains on many a t-shirt for years to come. So I had to take the butterflies. A vintage cotton dress that needs to be soaked in OxiClean. A vintage satin dress that needs to be pressed and made into something else. Highly bedazzled jeans that I will be using to make some straight legs into wide legs. Oh my gosh, this was a moment where I fell in love with the pants right away and took them home and realized that was myself from 10 years ago that fell in love with those pants. They are just so out of date and weird. I do love the embroidery, and I need a pair of leggings, heavyweight leggings, to make a yoga girl top out of, where I take the yoga girl dress, and that was the winner of our last fashion design contest, which you totally 100% should be part of the next one. Basically, I show you some used clothes, and the person that has the best idea for how to rework those, not the best sketch, but the best idea for how to rework those, wins, and I make it for them in their size. So get in on that action. Oh yeah, subscribe, or get on my email list if you want to be part of that. And this was a little bit of a surprise to me. I didn't think anything of it on the rack, but when I looked at it closer, it is a pair of wraparound pants. I would just love that they're incredibly comfortable. I am a fan of rayon. I'm not a fan of how it's made. It can be done sustainably, but I am a huge fan of how it feels, and I know how to take care of it so it doesn't wear out quickly. So I'm excited for this pant thing. Wait, this isn't the tie-up one. This is a skirt. Am I wrong about this? Oh my gosh. This is a surprise because I thought I was getting another set of pants, but it's the same kind of fabric and it will be super comfy in the summertime. This is, I just was surprised at how much I love the color. Like, this is so colorful. I've just been really getting into color this year. I know the trends are all going towards neutrals and brown and beige, and let's see how many shades of white we can have.
We've got anemic moon. We've got scrubbed cauliflower, poached smoke.
I'm all of a sudden just finding myself in love with colors, and it was inside out, of course, because I had to put it on right away. So this one I love. And then this one, I won't probably wear it as a jumper because getting in and out of it is too much, but I love having some big oversized shorts with a drawstring, so all I have to do really is cut it off at the waist and finish that edge and boom. So those are summer shorts I'm excited about. This is a big win because it was clearly done by one of the artists at the firehouse. It is an absolute piece of artwork. That is such a score. My favorite accessory. This really colorful scarf. This is a huge score because it is a cashmere sweater and you can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's very warm, it's very lightweight, it's a perfect travel garment. So I'm very excited to have a universal classic cashmere black sweater. So like one thing I found was this all wool vest. And it has this Scandinavian design to it, right? Like, so I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of Scandinavian. And my friend Bodil comes over and she's like, that's a Scandinavian garment. I know it is, you know, because she's from there. And sure enough, the label says that. I wear that the next day, and it turns out that my friend Ava brought it to the exchange. She's like, hey, you're wearing the vest that I brought. And that just made me even happier that, like, it connected me with both of my two friends even more. And so I love the synchronicity of it. I love the community of it. Suddenly it's more than just clothes. It's actually an identity that you share with other people. It's a way that we express our values, and it's a great place to have conversations about sustainable fashion. You'll find out that so many more people than you thought actually care about this issue. So clothing swap is not the most private shopping experience ever. If you want more privacy, there's lots of great secondhand venues, like Depop is really fun, or Poshmark. I tried Poshmark. I bought a mystery box on Poshmark. It was hilarious. If you want to see that story, I'm going to link it here.